Hello, I'm Tattoo. This atmosphere of approval and praise is a partake to sow that put us off balance by creating unstable appetite for more of the same. This attempt to argue is a temptation to have a debate. Yo la gente. And pedir yo la gente nos conmigo. Or perhaps it's discouragement, or prepare ourselves for well in advance. Such reactions will defeat us in a steady, even purpose. After taking preliminary trial and making amends, and to do so that would not harm ourselves or others by making these amends. As a relief and sense, a sight for eyes, a sense of smell, a scent of sight, and a scent of touch, a scent of speak, a sense of taste. 5 cents. 5 senses in relief will often manufacture a probable excuse of dodging these issues internally. Or we may just procrastinate on ourselves this time around. Yet, when all comes down to the end of the day, we've passed up on a fine chance to right the wrong of a serious matter. It's not talk about procrastinating and evasion. It's not pronounced evasion. As soon as we begin to feel confident in our own new way of life, and we've begun by the behavior and code of conduct as an example to convince those about us that we are indeed changing for the better. Choose is safe to talk. Complete frankness. Those who have been seriously affected for the past 100 years. Even those who may be only a little bit, if not self-aware of those who have done to them. An expectation will be where our disclosure would cause an actual conversation and begin a casual way. But if not, an opportunity presents itself. At this point, we will want to summon all of our courage. Good judgment will suggest that we ought to take our time. While we might be quite willing to reveal the very worst, we must be sure to remember we cannot buy our own peace of mind at the expense of others. Much of the same approach would apply to any factory, any industrial, or any warehouse. We shall at once think of a few people who knew all about what is affected by it. The case scenario is when drinking, it left at a vulnerable point. For an example, like a hurricane. We might not want to say anything for several weeks or forever of a lifetime or longer. First, we will wish reasonably certain that we are on AA beam then we're ready to go to these people and tell them what AA is, of God's message. We could pay or promise to pay for an obligation, a financial or otherwise, that we owe. The generosity response of most people are such quiet, sincere, and serenity, how often astonished us. Even our severest, most justified critics will frequently meet us more than halfway on the first trial of the atmosphere. We usually want to sit down with some members of the family and really admit the damage we've done by our drinking. Almost always we want to go farther and admit our defects of character that we've made, and that has made us hard to live with. This will be a very different occasion and sharp contrast for those who have hangovers in the morning. When we terminate it between the revealing ourselves or blaming others for our troubles and everyone else. At this first setting, it was necessary that we only make a general administration to our defects of character. We may be unwise at this stage of fright that rehash the certainties of a rolling episode, and good judgment ought to take our time. Lay our cards on the table. We wouldn't wallow in excessive remorse before those we have harmed, but amends at the level should always be forthright and forth-ahead in generosity. There could only be condescension which should qualify our desire to complete disclosure of the damage we have done. That will arise in the occasion situation where to make a full revelation would seriously harm the one to whom we are making amends to. Quite as important as other people, we cannot, for example, upload a detailed account of external adventuring upon the shoulders of an unexpected wife or husband, even if those causes are such a matter to be discussed. Let's try to avoid harming third parties, whoever they may be, so it does not lighten our burden. We're reckless to make crosses of others heavier.